this light board. Got it mounted up. I do not have these screws loose because that's where I want to adjust this height a little bit. It's sitting on this little ledge right here. You notice, like, yeah, it's definitely not on that good. I mean, it's not falling, but before I tighten it down though, just want to do a little, provide a little spacer here. And what this is for, when I do tighten this down, if it sags down just a hair, it will be resting on that and not resting on all the weight on those bolts in the side of that cabinet, because if all the weight's resting on the side of that cabinet over there, these bolts up here can pull through. Now, no, they're not clean. No, they don't look right, but I've got brand new ones on the way that I want to put in there. I'm going to put those brand new ones on, so it'll just look a little bit better, but you know, I can take them out one at a time and it won't move or change anything. Everything will be just fine. This right here, we're hoping if it drops a little bit after I have all this tightened down, I'll just loosen it up, put a little more padding in there. So you just do these things, you just do one little thing at a time and try to figure out if you got it right. Look at that. Now the situation I have here, I actually like this. Let's see if we can get in here and see. See, I'm having to lift just a little bit to get it over that. It just pushes itself right up. So not all the weight is resting out there. Now the next thing we'll find out when we put the speaker box in here, the speaker grill. You don't want this dragging across. You may have to lift up a little bit more out there on the hinge side just to get it just right, but you know, that's a big important thing. You want to get it high enough, hopefully not have any weight on the bolts out there, or not much, so over the years it'll just sag down and sink those heads in there. You'll have to tighten them, just rough on the plywood, and then you don't want it to drag at the bottom there where it goes over top of the speaker grill. Done a little bit of tightening up with the wires, mounted all the loops where the wires go through, mount back to the back box, cleaning it up a little bit. So let's go ahead and install the speakers. Yes, one of the most important parts of the game is the noises, sounds, the music. Gotta have all that. Like, no, I'm not pulling speakers out of a magical spot there. A lot of times when I take stuff apart, like all these screws go to this, they go to this speaker grill. So I just chuck the magnets right onto the speaker, on the magnet on the back, and that way come back a day, a month, a year later, they're still there. Hopefully you're not taking that long to get back to your project, but sometimes it happens. Like this slide, that last one and this one I was in the middle of and had to move. And moving right in the middle of a pinball restoration is kind of stressful because you don't know when you're going to get back to it. You're moving all these little parts around. You don't know if you're going to lose them. To be honest, one of these hinges, I lost it. I could not find that hinge for that light board to save my life. And eventually I was relegating myself to either take it to the other one to the machine shop, or one out of one of my other machines to make one of a different, or take a different one from another machine to a machine shop and have them make one, which was not going to be cheap, I'm sure. The other option is look around for a junk machine somewhere, somebody that has some parts. Fortunately, When I was getting around to the back of this thing, before I put the back box on, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, got around to the back box and looked down in there, and guess what? The hinge was all the way at the back at the bottom of this thing. Fortunately, the cabinet had been empty on the move, so probably when it got folded down and stood up, yep, it fell all the way to the front, and I never knew it, but that's what happens sometimes when you're in a hurry and you're in the middle of a move. So we got the speakers here. I need to get those bolts tightened down. So I'm busy with story time here. Just to hold this speaker cabinet in. Just an awkward spot in there. You can't hardly get your tool on straight. Let's get the speakers hooked up. Alright, that's done.